Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the Christopher Marc Show. So today I have the privilege of introducing you to a very loving, kind person who is focused on making sure people love themselves and fall in love and understand themselves intimately. And she has the coolest name. Miss Nookie, can you tell everybody your full name and what do you do?
Hello, everyone. I am Miss Nookie. I'm a certified love coach and sexuality educator. I help people learn how to love themselves so that they can find the relationship that they deserve.
So, how did this all begin? How did you decide that, this is what I'm going to do, like professionally, as far as getting to helping people with relationships and loving themselves? How did it start?
It happened a few years after my divorce. When it comes to my family, on my mom's side, there's 10 brothers and sisters. So I grew up seeing many examples of love. My parents were married for 47 years before my mom passed. I have one aunt that was married within 6 months. I have another aunt who was married after being in a relationship for 12 years. I have an uncle who circled back to the first mother of his first child like 15 years later. So I've seen nothing but love, but no one ever told me how they got it, how it was achieved, what mindset they were in, what was their approach. So I decided to find a way to figure out how you prepare for and obtain and sustain love.
So in your observation of relationships and love, what is the common pattern that people have when it comes to why relationships work out and why they don't?
Well, when I say why relationships work out, I see the friendship is truly there.
Okay.
I think people don't value just being someone's friend when it comes to a relationship. We automatically go to boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, but we don't think about the friend part. So I believe that your spouse should be your best friend. Like, there shouldn't be anything that you can't tell your spouse. So I think that's the first part of the breakdown. We have girlfriends where you have girlfriends that know everything that you've done. So why wouldn't you want the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with to know all of that, so that you yourself at least know that they love all aspects of you, just not the shiny parts.
Okay. Okay. So why do you think that they usually don't work out? If you're saying that the friendship is there is the reason why they do, why do you think they don't?
Well, for relationships, because couples tend to forget to date. They forget to make time for each other.
Okay.
One of my best friends, when she got married, she said her aunt gave her the best advice on her wedding day. She told her, once a year, take a vacation, just you and your husband. And I think things like that, people forget why they fell in love. When kids get, when careers start to take off, they lose that closeness. They lose that intimacy. So I think that's the key. They forget to make time for each other, to remember why they fell in love.
Do you find that in in the people that you've helped, do you find that the issue that they have the most is it mostly with themselves, or is it with their partner? What was the common thing that you've noticed?
Well, it all goes down to themselves.
Okay.
Having those dark parts of themselves that they're embarrassed about, or traumas that they haven't dealt with, can cause people to shut down. Or, if you don't know your triggers or how to figure out a trigger, a spouse or a partner can easily trigger you and you not even realize that issue still bothered you.
Right.
So that's why getting to know yourself really is the pinnacle of everything. Because your partner, if you can't tell your partner, okay, this is a trigger. Like, one of my triggers is men yelling at me. It don't matter who. If you are a man with a penis and you yell at me, I black out and I crash out. I know this. So
Okay.
when it happens, I can say, I need to walk away before I crash out and do something crazy. So having a partner, I can say, listen, communication is very important to me. And all I ask is that you do not raise your voice at me, because that's one of my triggers.
Okay.
Now, if I'm dealing with someone and I never told them that, and, you know, some of us are loud talkers, you know, that could trigger me. And then boom, we're in this argument and he doesn't know why I'm crashing out when he's just heated in a discussion or something like that. But I feel like it's yelling, but he didn't know that raising his voice does something to me. So that's why I believe it's all on you to be able to tell people how to treat you, just like telling someone how to love you. You don't know that unless you do it for yourself.
That is common. Like sometimes people, when they're in relationships, they don't, their communication styles are different. So it's like and I think this is really when it becomes like your nervous system responds by being overwhelmed by the energy that's coming off of that person. And if it's too heightened, then it triggers like, okay, well, when did this happen? This happened when I was either in this relationship or from a family member or whatever. And then it just by default associates to that and just says, okay, this person is getting ready to do that. So what are we getting ready to do? Okay, it's beatdown time. Right?
Exactly.
And
that protector, that lion comes out and rah, you know, you're just out going for blood, and it may not even have been serious to go for blood, but because you got that deep seated trauma in the back, you know, in the back of your mind, it's like protection, immediate, not, you know, I need to back away from this. You know, when you have that resolve, when you have that wherewithal about yourself, you can say, I need to back away from this conversation for a moment. Can we talk when we're both calm? And it's also the other person being able to accept someone saying, I cannot talk to you right now in this moment. Because that also fuels arguments. If someone, you know, some people, I need to say what I have to say right now. But if you love someone and you care about them and they say, I need to take a step back, I don't want to say something I'm going to regret, I would rather have this conversation when we're both calm, you know, that's a whole different dynamic.
You know, and I think that's the one thing about, I guess when it comes down to people, everyone has triggers, and it's more about understanding the list of those triggers. I mean, because for some people, it could be like using your example of them saying, okay, well, I don't want to talk right now. Can we talk about this later? They might, in their past, might associate that with rejection. And so now it's like, oh, so you're rejecting me. And so, okay, I'm gonna force myself onto you. Or I'm gonna force my narrative. I'm gonna force my feelings and my viewpoint onto you so that way, you know, I'm not ignored. Meanwhile, you're yelling at me, I'm about to beat you down and throw you outside, right? So it's like exactly. It kind of goes both ways, because that person, someone else may have said to them, let's talk about it later, and then they never came back to it. Exactly.
You know, and you know, so it's just truly learning yourself, and too many people don't know themselves and just end up in that.
Right. So has this, like, you know, you being able to guide people, coach them, and help them to build better relationships, has this helped you personally in your relationships, whether now or previous?
It definitely has. I believe in being a forever student. So even with my clients, sometimes they may say something that's profound to me where I'm like, oh, thank you for that, you know? So yes, in helping other people, and just for me, the mere joy of seeing someone have that epiphany of, this is what I need to say, or this is what I need to do, or they come back and say, I did XYZ and it felt amazing. You know, that's what brings joy to my heart, seeing people progress and be happy with themselves. But yeah, also learning from them and things that happen in their life, or advice that they may have received from a loved one.
No, I can understand that. I can understand that. So where do you see like your company going with everything you're doing? Like, where do you see it going? Where do you want it to go?
Well, where I want it to go, right now I have like one-on-one consultations and coaching. I want to see like group coaching. I want to have, events for men, and events for women, because I feel like, well, I don't know, because I'm not on that side of the algorithm, but I don't know how much love coaching is out there for men. But I know a lot of women get it. So the battlefield is uneven out the back. Because if you got women working and healing and men aren't healing, that's a true disconnect. So having group coaching, whether it's an event or classes for men and women, and eventually I would love to do like couples retreat weekends to help build intimacy. Because like right now, what I do, I have my Nookie notes, and I have 2 different kinds. So I have passion play. These are date night ideas, so couples can continue to reconnect. And then I have soulmate sessions. And soulmate sessions are for people who are dating, and they're cards with questions. Because lots of times we don't ask the right questions to see if we are truly in alignment in terms of what relationship goals are.
Gotcha. So I'm sure everyone is dying for me to ask you this question. How did you come up with your name?
Well,
and it seems like a no-brainer, like a duh, right? But I just want to ask you politely.
Yeah, no problem. So, I'm a certified love coach and certified sexuality educator. And in the past, I had a show called Natural's Nook, which was a sex and relationship podcast where I want people to feel more sexually free to express themselves.
Okay.
Because whatever you're into, somebody else out there is into it as well. And just to kind of normalize certain things so people don't feel ashamed for what their sexual proclivities are. So what better name than Nookie? You're never going to forget it.
Okay. No, I listen, I totally understand. I get it. I had to ask, you know what I mean? So like, what is when people come to you, why do you think that they come to you? Like, out of all these coaches out here and all these different people, what is it about you that is different?
Because I'm not going to just give you cookie cutter information.
Okay.
We're all individuals. We have similarities, but we have differences more than we have similarities. So I'm going to get to know you at your core, because I want to know who you are. I want to know what parts you are, quote unquote, ashamed of to show, and let you know that those parts are okay to show. So I want to focus on you and your journey of your self-love first. Because once that's in place, what you want begins to radiate, and you begin to draw it into you. So I'm all about the person first, rather than just the masses and giving, general quick information. And I believe in society, we're a microwave society.
Yes.
And I'm a cold stove love coaching person. Okay. You got to go and chop the wood. Then you got to put it in the stove. Then you got to get the kindling. Then you got to light the kindling. Then you got to blow on it until it catches. And then you got to wait for the stove to get warm. Like, anything worth having is worth working for. So why are we trying to push a button and have it in 2 minutes?
Yeah, I think that what happens with people. And I remember me and you were talking, and you were saying how that there's people who look at, you know, short-term relationships versus long-term relationships.
Yes.
And, you know, everybody just has a different viewpoint. I know for me, it's weird. It's like I'm kind of a mix, right? It just depends on who I'm dealing with, you know, because for some people I know this ain't gonna work, but I wanna experience you, right? Not just you as like just like, oh, like not just physically, but more just energetically connecting and, you know, learning and, you know, and growing. Like, because sometimes we don't, even though you get into relationships and you do, you know it ain't gonna work.
Exactly.
Like,
And it's like you said, you want to experience the energy, knowing, you know, everything may not be long term, but everything we experience had to happen for a reason. Whether it's karmic because you didn't learn from the last time and you keep accepting the same stuff, or you're accepting something different. I like to tell people, when a relationship ends, I ask, what do you do when a relationship ends? What do you do? What's your process? And we, in general, don't have one. So what I do, I kind of sit back and do a relationship recon. What were the good aspects of the relationship? Okay, that's locked in. All of the good. And I know from this point forward, every man that I meet and allow into my sphere is going to have all of those good qualities. What were the bad qualities? I know what the red flags are. I have addressed them. So now I can sense them and I know them as soon as I see them. And I'm not going to turn them green like I did the last time, because I've actually thought about it and processed it. It's come to the forefront of my brain. It's not just looming back there, you know, sheet on top of it. It's right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people, look at every relationship that you're in as a stepping stone to your person. Right. And that changes the mindset. But like you're saying, sometimes we're just meant to have this experience, this life-changing experience that will put you in a different trajectory.
Yeah, because some people, you be around a person and you feel like you're in a movie with them.
Oh yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like
hopeless romantic. So yeah, I'm gonna go wherever it goes and just know that, okay, I have to pull myself together after this, but God damn it, I had to give a fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be cool. Like,
you want to have a fun life. You just gotta know how to pick yourself up by your bootstraps when shit goes awry. That's it.
Yeah, you don't want to. I think that's the one thing that people just don't understand. Is like, you might be like, oh no, I want to get into this long-term relationship and I want this to work, and it's like, that's great, like, but when that happens, you're not gonna control that. Like, when really the long-term relationships happen, it's when you don't realize it. You just wake up one day and you be like, man, I've been with you for like, what, how long has it been?
I've heard so many people say that. It's true.
I've been like dealing with you for like it's been 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is that the moments become lifetimes. And because the moments become lifetimes, it's like you don't realize that you're experiencing many lifetimes with this person in one moment. And so by the time you actually capture everything, you're like, wow, I can't believe that much time went by.
Yeah, and it's a kind of thing where you lose time because you, for lack of a better saying, you forget that you're choosing each other every day.
Every day.
You forget that you're choosing each other through the disagreements as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, it's like you said, 10 years later, like, I'm still with you, you know? And you start to think about it and you realize the good times outweighed the bad.
They do, because it's like you don't and I think this is another thing people don't understand. It's like, you might look at a person and you might say to yourself, okay, this person looks like the perfect person I should go for. But meanwhile, there might be another person where y'all have a really strong sexual chemistry.
And it's the character of the other person that's really, it's completely different. Yeah.
It's completely different. And it's not necessarily, a lot of times people might say, well, you want to go towards the person who you have a sexual chemistry with. It's like, yeah, but you also have to keep in mind, what else is there? Right? Like,
are you going to be able to talk to them when you're 80 years old, sitting on a veranda, and body parts don't work as efficiently as they used to? So you got to think of all of those.
And really, other thing I've noticed is like, how resourceful are you? Like, even if you get old, you understand what I'm saying? Like, won't you become like a sex Rambo or something? Like, where you got all these weapons you pulling out, you'd make it work, even if
But you need that mental stimulation, because don't nobody want to talk to a dummy for the rest of their life.
No.
You want to have thought-provoking conversations. You want to be able to agree to disagree on stuff and just have that respect where, yeah, I don't agree with what you're saying, but I hear you. You know what I'm saying? You want to have that with someone in perpetuity,
Yeah.
So it's not just the physical aspect of it. And, physical aspect, half the time, if you do it too soon, you end up being a fool, because there is no red flags if the physical is just that dope. And that's where we get caught up.
Yeah, because it's more
it's that dopamine rush, the chemical reaction that you keep striving for because they hit that button physically.
Yeah, because it's more of you're able to be vulnerable with them.
Yes.
In that space. And I think a lot of times people don't understand how powerful that is. Like, if you can have a high sexual chemistry with someone, but you don't engage and you just maintain like, hey, let's just talk. Let's communicate. Let's do this. Let's do that. Well, it doesn't mean that you're not fantasizing about the person. You're not thinking about them. But what happens is that in that moment, everything's get amplified. It's like the more you resist, the more it amplifies.
Yeah.
And so it's like you want that. You want that, because it's like, if you just jump right into it, it's like it is what it is. It's like you put your, let's say, for example, you go to the ocean, you put your feet in the water. Oh, okay, that was nice. I put my foot in the water, right? Mm-hmm. But if you were at the beach and the sun is setting and there's music in the background, it came out of nowhere, and then like, it was just a whole scene happened. Now you're going to be like, this moment, your mind's going to tell you that this moment matters.
Exactly. It's memorable.
Yeah. And I'm not going to forget it. And so that's the thing. It's like most people don't, and they're so in a rush of, okay, let me avoid myself, let me avoid my feelings, let me avoid all of these other things, and so that we can just skip all of that. I sleep with you, you get mad at me, and then it's over. Versus, when I get to know you, when I get to experience you, and however long this lasts, it lasts. It's like, because sometimes we get in our minds, we say, oh, I want to be with this person forever. Like,
and you really don't, because next thing you know, you may find out that person talked too much and can't sit in silence, and then they get on your nerves, and it's all because that dopamine rush that you got from being physical and not, just taking time to say, okay, do I even like the way this person really sounds? Like, how many people have you known that said, oh, they chew so cute, and then 6 months later, I can't stand hearing them chew. They chew with their mouth open.
Yeah. I mean, it's
when the shiny wears off.
When the shiny wears off, and really, to preserve it, I tell people all the time, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, let me try to like be around this person all the time. I'm like, listen, distance really helps. Like,
absence makes the heart grow fonder. You need to be missed.
Yeah, like, you don't have to like be all like, hey babe, where you at? What you doing? Oh, you going to the bathroom? That's what's up. Did you brush your teeth today?
No, it's true. I'm laughing because I've met guys like that who want a play-by-play, and I'm like, don't you got something to do?
No, I don't got
Like
nothing to
we
do.
we we need to understand that in relation you should never lose yourself in a relationship. And I learned this when I was married and being a mom. Like
Mm,
I was adamant about having my mommy days,
mm-hmm.
where me and my girlfriends would hang out, or I would just go out and do something, because I never wanted to forget who I was.
Yeah.
And I mean, if both of you are doing your own thing, then that gives you more to talk about when you do see each other. You can
Yeah.
sit and say, okay, so what's been going on since the last time I saw you? Give me an update about I don't need a daily update. But when you have those moments where you're sitting with someone you haven't seen in a month, and you see the look on their face, the pride or the happiness of something that went on, that's so much better than giving you a daily play-by-play. Because you feel like you're in the moment, number one. And number two, you're really tapped in. Because you're
yeah.
truly listening, or someone is truly looking in your eyes and taking in all that you're saying, and they're genuinely happy for your happiness. It's a whole different dynamic.
It is, because your mind, like when relationships end, you're in when it's ending or it's transitioning, you're always thinking about the bad, right? The bad is always at the forefront. It's like, yeah, this is why it's over, because you said this and that and the third, you did this,
Yeah.
When time goes by, when you reflect back, all you remember is the good. Right?
Exactly. You're like, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I could have handled this differently. I did rush to do this, and that and listening to your miserable single friends, that will get you out quick.
It is, because sometimes you might be like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, if you are in a relationship and you're with this person and you love them and you want the relationship to work and last, keep it private.
Keep it private, or talk to someone who's unbiased. Find a coach to talk to.
Yeah, because another thing too, and I tell people all the time, I say you might want to be in a relationship, but you need people around you that believe in a relationship more than you do.
Yes.
Because another thing is like, you can get together, but it's hard to stay together.
Yes, and you need that positive reinforcement. Like you need that support that will be like, yo, I've seen who you've been with before. I think this one is the one. I don't think what they do is that bad. Or just or seek counsel from people who are in happy relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make sure someone is truly happy, because people have that facade of a happy relationship and are miserable as hell on the inside. But if you know people who are genuinely happy, who are willing to tell you about the hard aspects, because that's what it is. Society wants you to have this facade of perfection. So a lot of people aren't telling you the truth of the struggle of what it took to get to where they are in that relationship. There's not that transparency. So people think that it doesn't take work and it should be easy. And it's just this fairy tale, Prince Charming is coming to get the princess and you live happily ever after. No, life isn't like that. It's learning how to overcome the obstacles and choosing that person every day. Being willing to do that.
Yeah. And that's the hard part, because there's two different realities of people, right? You have the version of yourself, a version of how you see the person in your mind, and then there's the version of who they are in reality. And the real question you have to ask yourself is, can you accept both? Right? Can you accept the person in your mind that is all dressed up, makeup, did this, did that, or they smell good, whatever, and can you accept the person morning breath, right? Like
no, it's like can
you accept both sides? Because most people just be like, oh man, I didn't know you went to the bathroom. There's some people out there, literally, like the most simplest things, human things, right? It's like they're seeing, if you burp,
if you fart around them, women aren't supposed to fart, whatever, I'm human. And I'm not holding anything. I'm not holding anything in to hurt my belly in the long run. No, I'm gonna choose me. And I'm a fart and I'm gonna let loose and be like, this is what it means to be with me. You good? Because it's life. These are life things. I once had an ex say to me, and it was so profound when he said it, but he was really on some BS. But he said, I can't live without your bad habits. And it was so powerful and deep that, like, I kind of think of that when I deal with people. Can I live with this person's bad habits? Because that's what you're signing on to when you say you want a lifelong relationship with someone.
It's true.
Being okay with their bad habits. The good, of course, that's the easy part. But the bad habits, are they that bad? You know, do they chew with their mouth open? Sorry, that's a boundary for me. I can't do bad table manners.
Okay.
You know?
And you know what? I think sometimes it's like you know, the things that bother you, you have to ask yourself, is this something that, okay, can I just deal with this? Can I just like accept this? Does this outweigh the fact that this person like really listens to what I have to say? I know I ain't talking about nothing. I know I ain't that deep.
Exactly. It's okay. So one thing that I like to tell my clients to do, I tell them, go buy a notebook from Walmart, little composition book, you know, little cheap 50-cent composition book. It might be 75 cents now due to inflation, but you buy it and you're going to journal. And this journal is going to be in 3 parts. And the reason why you're buying a notebook is because you're going to scratch some stuff out and you're going to add some stuff. It's a living, breathing journal. You're going to talk about the characteristics you want in your person. You're going to talk about the relationship you want. But to me, the most important part, how are you going to show up in that relationship?
Yeah.
Because people, I want. But then I've asked clients, so what are you willing to do? What you mean what I'm willing to do? He's supposed to do this, and that. Okay, well, what are you going to do for him, though? It can't be one-sided. Where's your accountability? How are you going to be that person's rock? Or are you willing to be that person's rock?
That's powerful. It is true. So let me ask you this. Is there anything that because I know you have a sword up there. There's some books in the background.
That's my son's artwork. That's my son's katana.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you into. You know what I mean? I help relationships during the day. I'm a ninja at night. Like, I don't know what you into. So I'm just asking.
I mean, we can protect ourselves. Anybody comes walking through. So
yeah, I mean, seriously, you know. So is it? So, is there anything else that you do that other people do not know about?
No, not really. That's pretty much what I do. You know, outside of just regular stuff like exercising. I used to be a college athlete, so, you know, I can get competitive. I like to be active and stuff like that. But yeah, the katana, my son, he's taking a gap year, so that's one thing he bought with one of his paychecks, because I said to him, you're going to be one of those dudes who has all of these random paraphernalia, and I love it for him. Collect whatever you need. Whatever makes you happy, collect whatever you need. But yeah, that's how.
Yeah, I mean, you know how scary it is. That's more scary than having a gun. It's really? Like, you know, somebody was just like, yo, you got a sword.
You feel like a ninja warrior.
You got a sword, like, because you know you can't just pick it up. You might chop your own hand off. So it's
exactly. My son was like, and it's really sharp.
Yeah, it ain't no like, that's not an easy thing. You can't just be like, you know, a gun, you could be like, pow, pow. But with that, you just like, you know, you really got to be real careful.
Hey, here in Georgia, you never know what you're going to get. So, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. So let me ask you this. If you had to give quick relationship advice to people who were trying to hold on their relationship, trying to make it work, what would you give them? What is the simplest advice you would give them?
More date nights.
Okay.
The thing about date nights, it creates memories, and memories create bonds, and that's how intimacy increases. And date nights, they don't have to be elaborate. You know, a date night can be you deciding to sit at home and eat popcorn and have a movie night and turn your phones off.
Right.
You know, a date night could be, you know, yes, you may go out and dance. A date night can just be, okay, we're going to give each other massages tonight. A date night can be, let's cook dinner tonight. Let's have a night where we're just in the house dancing. You know, don't overthink date nights.
Okay.
I think that's more so what more date nights, and don't overthink them. As long as it's you and your person together, that's really all that matters. Everything else is noise.
Okay. What is your quote? Like, what is the thing that keeps you going, keeps you motivated? What is that thing that you live by?
I would say, actually, it's Maya Angelou's quote. Always learn to trust love one more time and one more time. Like, I believe love is everyone's birthright. So never give up on it, because it's there. You just have to truly go out and get it.
Okay. All right. And lastly, how can people find you, right? If they, you know...
okay. Well, yeah. I'm on social media. On Instagram, Ms. Nookie NN. You can go to my website, missnookie.com. On Facebook, it's Miss Nookie. On TikTok, it's Miss Nookie. On LinkedIn, it's Bobette Nookie Plumber. So I'm all over the place. Just Google Miss Nookie and you'll find me. I'll be there, waiting to help you.
I appreciate you joining me in this dynamic conversation.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. You know, it's good to see people like you know, helping other people. Like, hey, I have my experiences and I want to help people, not to the good and the bad. I want them to experience both. I want them to experience the good, and I want them to understand how to avoid the bad, you know?
Exactly.
And I think you're really good at what you do, you know, because everybody doesn't. Just the fact that you care enough to do it says a lot.
Thank you. And I greatly appreciate you for having me. You are a very kind soul, and I truly enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, same here, man. I had a good time. This was fun, you know. So listen, guys, if you are looking for someone to help you and save your relationships, she's right here. You know, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Take care.